collection of stories celebrating organ donation and organ transplant survivors. What we are unveiling today isn't just a book, but a tapestry of courage, sacrifice, and the extraordinary power of transformation and second chances. Within the book, you'll find letters, reflections, and tributes from those who found life anew and from donor families who, amid their grief, choose to transform loss into legacy. These stories are they're much more than organs. They're about love, hope, and human connection. To describe, survivors are perched on the line between life and death, who now feel reborn, calling themselves one of the lucky ones. Donors and their families who, in saying yes, give others the gift of time and gain purpose in return. Somewhere they feel that the ones that they have lost have come back because the organ still lives in the survivor. Because organ donation isn't just a medical act, it's a rebirth, it's a second chance, it's a transformation of lives. In India, awareness around organ donation is growing and more people are pledging their consent. But the need still far outweighs the supply. One donor has the power to save up to 7 lives. You might have contributed to the book, many of you have mentioned that more than 6 lives are getting saved by one donor itself. So you're helping countless people regain their life. In 2023 alone, India achieved a milestone with 18,378 organ transplants, which is a rise from 16,041 in 2022. Source is the print. But behind each statistic is a name, a face, a mother, a father, a friend, a neighbor who's still waiting. Today, over 5,75,000 people in India are on organ donation waitlist. And every single day, nearly 20 people or more lose their lives, still waiting for a donor who never comes. Let's reflect on these important numbers. 63% of living donors were women, while 73% of deceased donors were men. States leading in deceased donations include Telangana, followed by Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Maharashtra, Gujarat, and Tamil Nadu is one of the highest deceased donor rates, has the highest deceased donor rates in India, which is almost 1.8 per million population, nearly 7 times the national average. India needs about 1 lakh kidney transplants every year, yet only 13,476 were performed in 24. This gap is stark. Around 300,000 patients are currently waiting. Every day, nearly 20 patients die, still holding on to hope. These figures are not just indicators of progress, they're a call to action to everyone. Behind each number is a human life, a family, a future that depends on our awareness, our compassion, and our willingness to act. Let's listen to these stories, celebrate, and share them. Remember the extraordinary impact each of us can have by saying yes. India is ranked 3rd globally in transplant counts. And yet, with per million donation rate, which is below 1, the need of awareness, access, and agency remains vast. This book aims to bridge this gap, to turn awareness into empathy, narratives into dialogues, and despair into dedication. May the stories within move you to pledge, to speak, and to advocate for a world where no life goes unlived. May we carry forward the new life, new beginnings. This book serves as a testament to the millions whose lives have been both lost and saved through organ donation and transplant. Let us give a round of applause for the author, Dr. Viney Kirpal, who has undertaken this gigantic task to compile the stories of numerous living donors and survivors and make this miracle happen. We'd We have already invited the chief guest, which is Dr. Suresh Rao, and the guest of honor, Dr. Sundar, and the author of the book, Dr. Viney Kirpal, to the dais. Let me give you a brief introduction about each of them. Dr. Sundar, who is, I'll begin with the chief guest. Dr. Suresh Rao is the Associate Director, Chief Intensive Care Heart Lung Transplant Department at MGM Hospital, Chennai. Dr. Sundar, who is also fondly called as the veteran dinosaur transplant nephrologist. And Dr. Kirpal is a heart transplant survivor, a former professor of English at IIT Bombay. She headed the Department of Humanities and Social Sciences from 92 to 95. I request Dr. Kirpal to come forward to welcome the audience.
Talented academician. She is teaching at Curated University and the subject is financial management. Good afternoon to all of you. It's a very emotional kind of moment for me because those who are part of conversations held on WhatsApp groups, on phone, suddenly have jumped into life. You can see quite a few of them are here, about 10 or 12, and 1 or 2 are driving to this venue. They are caught up in Pune's awful traffic, you know so well. I know your eyes are searching for Dr. Balakrishnan, but he has been kidnapped by the Ministry of Health. They have awarded him a Lifetime Achievement Award. And he got that at 11:30 a.m. today. So he called me up, he said, "What time is your session?" I told him it's at 2 o'clock. He said, "Well, this has happened and now there's no way I can get to you." I said, "There's no way, you need to get. We are very proud of you because you have put transplantation on the map of India, on the map of the world. This is an official stand to the work that you've been doing all these years. That we struggle to be recognized as transplant recipients, but remain pushed into different corners. So it's a very big moment for all of us. He is not there as a chief guest, but he is there with us. And Dr. Suresh Rao, his twin, I call him his twin. It's very nice that he has been able to make it. So friends, I welcome you once again. This is a very, very emotional moment because what one had longed for, meeting people, to meet the faces, to see the faces. And joining me are members of my family, and I would also call them family, my old friends. They are all here to support you. So we get on. Today is All India Donors Day. So in the light of that, we thought we will have a little program to honor our living donors. But take over, Justine.
Today's program, we now share a deeply moving excerpt from Faisal's letter to his donor mother. Unfortunately, Faisal is unable to join us this afternoon due to unforeseen constraints, but we are honored to read his words on his behalf. To mourn with gratitude, I am alive today because of your strength. In the darkest hours of your life, you chose life for others. Faisal Abdullah Malik's letter of love to his donor Karthik's mother, which is an invented identity, on completing 10 years as an organ recipient. This is typically a symbolic letter of gratitude and an imaginary construct of the organ recipient's thoughts. The identity of the donor will not be revealed to the recipient under existing laws. So let's read through the letter. Dear Mom, it's me, Faisal Abdullah Malik, your son from Pakistan, whose life you saved a decade ago by making a decision that only a mother as extraordinary as you could make. Today, as I reflect on that momentous day, my heart is overwhelmed with gratitude, love, and a longing to connect with you. I crossed the border into India for a heart transplant after reaching out to people in multiple countries, hoping for help due to the lack of deceased organ donation in my home country. The hospital and doctors in Chennai, India, were the only ones to respond positively, offering me the earliest hope of life. And you, Mom, when you lost Karthik in that tragic accident, found the strength to give me the most precious gift of all, his heart. Words cannot express the depth of my gratitude for your incredible kindness and generosity. And you, Mom, when you lost Karthik in that tragic accident, found the strength to give me the most precious gift of all, his heart. On 26th December 2014, both our lives changed forever. Karthik, your beloved son, was brought to Tripur Government Hospital near Coimbatore after a tragic road accident. He was later transferred to GKNM Hospital. When the doctors declared him brain dead, you had to face the unthinkable. Your final moments with him, holding his hand, saying your silent prayers and goodbyes, saving 6 lives, Mom, in the depths of that unimaginable grief. You made a choice that speaks of boundless courage and selflessness. You not only gave me Karthik's heart, but also donated 5 other organs, giving the gift of life to 6 strangers. 6 lives were saved because of your strength. And what moves me the most is that you made this difficult decision without ever questioning the race, religion, or background of those who would receive the organs. Your decision was solely about saving lives. Allah tells us in the Quran, whoever saves a life, it is as if they saved all of humanity. Mom, you embody those sacred words. Today, as a father of 2 growing children, I can truly understand the magnitude of your sacrifice. I can only imagine the storm of emotions you must have battled. Did you question if it was the right decision? Did you fear it was too much to bear? And yet, in the darkest hour of your life, you chose life for others. You chose hope. I know Karthik must be so proud of you, as am I, Mom. I am alive today because of your strength. 8 months before my heart failure, my own Ammi passed away on 15th May 2013. Just a day before my birthday, losing her left a void in my life. But then Allah, in His mysterious and beautiful ways, blessed me with another mother, you. Through Karthik's heart, which beats within my chest, He connected us. You became my mother and I became your son. Though we have never met, may I call you Ammi. Tearing apart the political divide, I have longed to meet you, Ammi. I have traveled to Chennai several times since receiving Karthik's heart, always hoping to somehow find a way to Coimbatore. But my medical visa restricts me from traveling outside Chennai, taking even one step closer. You might be wondering why I don't even call you. Names of donors and recipients are kept confidential, and I feel helpless. Each time I would face Coimbatore from afar, close my eyes, and imagine speaking to you. I have felt your presence in my prayers and shared my thoughts with you. But now, thousands of miles and the cruel divisions of politics make it impossible for us to meet. I want to tell you everything, Ammi. I want to share the pain I endured during my heart failure, the moments of hopelessness when I yearned for my own Ammi's comforting touch. And over the past decade, in my hardest moments, I have thought of you. as I thought of her with love, gratitude, and longing. You were there in my heart when I needed strength. I want to tell you how hard I have worked to honor the gift of life you gave me, to keep Karthik's heart safe and healthy. By Allah's grace, I have succeeded. I know you must miss Karthik every day. I can only imagine the weight of that loss. But Ami, I ask you to find comfort in this truth. Karthik is still alive in my body. He lives on in spirit, in love, and in the life you saved. Through me, his heart still beats, carrying forward the love, blessings you poured into him. When I laugh with my children, when I take a deep breath, when I face the world with resilience, it is because of Karthik and you. When I think about my wish to meet you, I hold back. I don't want to cause you pain by bringing up his absence. So I tell myself, let me write to Ami instead and share what I feel rather than meet her and reopen old grief. Maybe in some quiet way, my gratitude will still reach you. Smile, Ami, in the knowledge that Karthik's legacy is alive and thriving. He's 36 now. I love you, Ami, forever and always, until the day we meet in heaven. Please carry me in your heart as I carry you and Karthik in mine. Yours always, Faizan. We request the author now to felicitate Samina Sultana, a kidney donor to her husband Adil Pasha, and Tanuja Chaudhary, liver donor to her brother, Jayant Zawde. Okay, and they can please proceed to the stage because this selfless action gives others more than time, they give them life.
Tanuja, I want to ask you, did you feel a little bit of conflict when you had with your kidney and in your case the liver?
Really, I am grateful that God gave me an opportunity to do such a noble thing. And why always people say that brothers should support and save the life of sisters. But I say that it is the responsibility of the sister also to take care of the brothers.
So Rakhi in reverse.
Yeah.
Okay, very nice. Thank you. What about you, Samina?
Yeah, even I didn't have any second thought for donating anything.
That's why 68% are donors of living organs and men are less.
Yeah.
Men, please transfer a few. Hi friends, once again, the name of our book is New Life, New Beginnings, and the subtitle is Compelling Stories by Organ Recipients, Donors and Doctors. New Life, New Beginnings, the title itself suggests that something happened and somebody started all over again. And this was the failed organ that was replaced by a good organ given by a benevolent donor, and life was reborn for many of us. There are in this room about 11 recipients, and in all we have 27, of which 4 are doctors and the remaining are different professions. The book also has expert interviews by 4 top transplant doctors. And the third part is the practical guidance that we have given to our recipients. So, friends, I want to tell you that this is one of the most comprehensive books I was checking out yesterday in the world, which has put together not only recipient and donor stories, but doctor expert views and then self-help material. there are many stories only by recipients or only by donors, or only by doctors, and they don't have stories by the recipients or donors. So this, it seems, is a comprehensive book. Now this collection has been written not this collection comprises stories by heart, lung, liver and kidney recipients, which makes it probably one of the first which is multi-organ transplant. The beauty of this book is the amount of pain and trauma that people felt during the organ failure is all brought out in the raw. And then the great relief when the organ arrived in time to save their lives. Everybody has expressed that joyous moment. When our recipients read out from their stories, a little bit, each one of them, you will get a feel of what are the thoughts that went through our minds. Now, what did I think of putting this book together? I was on a couple of WhatsApp groups where there are supporters for people who have undergone transplant. And I found that people were often celebrating what nice things they were doing. Some were marathon runners, some were participating in the transplant games and winning medals. Others were talking about they were into water sports, rafting, and all that, And in general, people celebrated their anniversaries of having completed so many years after transplant. So I felt that there was a story to tell. And I just proposed to them, and I was thrilled. The kind of response I got. They were just very eager to share their stories. And I somewhere thought, maybe all the stories will be alike. But imagine my surprise when I found that the stories were so unique. Each one's story is different, more of that nature. But now, many of these people were not writers, not regular writers. And so that was a little bit of a challenge. But the power with which they wrote, the stories were so moving that that's what has given the book its character. So I gently edited their works, and I should say the voices are their own. The cover has been designed by Adil Pasha. He is a kidney recipient. Will you please stand up, Adil? So, thank you. He is a senior designer. And it takes him hardly, a few seconds. He says, I'll do it, and next time I get it fast. So, here I would like to also appreciate Usha Uthap. She is very busy. And she is an icon, moving around from place to place. She's 78, but still sings so well. She's into organ donation. Her son has had a kidney transplant, which unfortunately failed. But instead of taking it to heart, she goes around talking about organ donation. She has written the foreword for us. Sterling publisher, I would like to thank her for bringing out a very visually striking book. If you look at the cover, the title has been lifted. The title, you feel, is lifted up, as it were, the letters. It gives it a very beautiful look. All in all, I want to say that this kind of book that has emerged is something like I have never done. It has felt like a whole community was writing. I felt like that. The different parts that I described, let me tell you what makes the stories unique. A 7-year-old child is diagnosed with cardiomyopathy. What do the parents do? Doctors, after a while, tell them you need transplant. A 6-footer, the son of marathon runners, is diagnosed with severe inflammation of the cells in the lungs and other organs. And he is just 30. Now he has to find lungs for himself. So these are situations which are beyond anyone's control, and that's what happens in these stories. It's not that they all had a bad lifestyle, because sometimes when I hear people say, you must have a good lifestyle, then you can avoid organ failure. Surely there are cases like that, but not all. So the emotional power in these stories comes from the pain, the trauma they have undergone. And that's what makes it healing. And then when they get the organ, it's like they have found the whole world. Amazing. 4 doctors gave me exclusive interviews for this book, representing each organ: heart, liver, lung, and kidney. Kidney man is here. They are telling us also how to eat safe, how to avoid rejection, but very importantly, they have shared what is on the horizon. So what's on the horizon is AI matched organs. You can expect longer preservation of organs. You can expect personalized drugs and even animal or mechanical hearts or organs. So you can see science and compassion, humanities and science are working hand in hand to bring change to human beings and their lives. But what I found very disturbing in all this was that transplant centers are resting exclusively on the shoulders of individual doctors and their teams who happen to be very passionate. It's not as if it is a system set up by the government. These doctors move from one hospital to another, and the previous hospital becomes barren. Nothing. It should not happen that way. So, what my appeal through this book is, we need stable government-supported transplant hubs across India, not only for transplant and surgery, but also for transplant management after the surgery. The third, as I told you, is about practical guidance. Like transplant recipients, the first year I was very curious, what should we eat, how much should we expose ourselves, should we wear a mask, and what can we do, what can't we do. So it's both a survival guide as well as a confidence booster. We have brought in where do you find transplant hospitals, where do you get funds, all kinds of things. So why does this book matter? This matters because very often when I go to the clinic, for example, one of our doctors couldn't come, his wife was taken in an emergency surgery. I find that always there are potential recipients who are differing. Should we go in for a transplant or not? So the questions they ask, what about rejection? What about the lifelong medication? What about our infections? So I tell them, look, you are going to be better off then than you are now. I am a transplant nearly 7 years ago. Dr. Vishnu was there that day, so I said, he said, I am 5 to 6 years done. And both of us are healthy and happy. And I should tell you about Vishnu, he walks like Mahatma Gandhi. He's always walking, he will encourage you to walk. So such is his energy level. Now, I tell them, don't delay, get transplanted. You see, the problem is, a lot of misinformation has spread around transplant people. And that's what I question. We all question, not only I. Misinformation hurts not just recipients, but also harms the cause of organ donation. Recently, a donor family asked me to talk about my health complications after transplant. I said I have none. I'm absolutely all right. So what complications do you want me to talk about? And I have begun to ask why people are talking like this. But more of that. There were companies in some earlier years which even rejected our recipients from entering their companies. They said, no, we have no jobs for you. And then what did these people do? They outsmarted them. For Bombay, 11 years transplant, she has set up a very successful company called Curated in Bombay. And there's Abhijit. Where are you, Abhijit? Abhijit Verma. He runs Avinia, industrial logistics and parks and all. That name I can never get. 1,000 crore business. Karan Singh Aluwalia in Dubai, 2 years transplant. He has 70,000 luxury products today and 5 brands of his own watches in different countries across Europe, America, you name it, all after transplant. Do you think these are stories of sickness? No, they are stories of courage, energy, ambition, purpose. And this is all made possible because of the organ, the gift of the organ that we got. So let no one say that people after transplant are risks to society, risks to insurance industries. We are contributing to the economy of the country and very, very purposefully. Transplant has actually freed us from a life of hospitalization, dialysis, oxygen cylinders. Imagine, you're walking in your home and you've got all those pipes trailing after you. So, insurance companies who talk like this, that, oh, you are high risk, I'm not going to give you any insurance, are lying. They are telling lies. When I heard that for the first time, my blood boiled. I told that man, I said, look here, there are 500 people sitting here in this room. How many of them are well? You look at my reports, they're all good. How can you deny me an insurance? So, this is the reality. And transplants and organ donation, only in number. So many organs were donated, so many recipients, so many transplants were done. It's a human exchange. It's one human being's life or organ giving life to another. The intent is the same. The organ lives in us and we look after it with great responsibility. We nurture it. I think if I ask all the recipients here and their families, what is the most important thing for you? You will all say to look after our new organ. Yes or no?
Yes.
So, it's a responsibility, not just a gift. We live with dietary restrictions. We try to avoid infection. We take lifelong medication to prevent rejection. We go for regular checkups. It's a responsibility that we have shouldered with full confidence and courage. We don't just live, we maintain this new life with vigilance and care. And that's why I feel that the government must ensure long-term healthcare support and financial assistance, and compel insurances to abide by the law. This book makes a quiet but firm demand. Don't make us fight for survival twice. We don't just live. Don't make us fight for survival twice. Once against the disease and again against the system. Don't make us fight twice. Public understanding of transplant life. These stories are filled with heartfelt, heartbreaking courage and joy. They are real, they are relatable. And the role the caretakers have played is immense. I think it brings families together in a different bond altogether. Men who never thought of saying I love you to their wives, they are only talking of I love my wife, she donated like this and that to me. So, we are all saying one thing, life after transplant is worth living and worth celebrating. That is our motto. I will end with an excerpt from Khalda Hussein's story in this book. She couldn't make it. She's a double kidney transplant recipient. Her piece is titled, Another Me, Another Life. She writes, I had 2 kidneys that failed and 2 that gave me life. My mother's and a stranger's. I have danced to pain, laughed through tears, and prayed when science had no answers. I'm still here, living, working, dreaming. My name is Khalda Hussain, and I'm not my disease. I am the sum of my courage, my scars, my grit, and the joy de vivre that has carried me through. Friends, her words speak for all of us. Thank you.
The words that are shared in the book. Hope all of you will enjoy reading it. Many of you have contributed it, so you already know what's in it. This book would be incomplete without its contributors. Hence, I would cordially invite, sequentially please, Shomil Shah.
Please come and lead the talk.
All right.
Hello friends, I thank Dr. Viney for making us a part of this very novel, I think it's a very novel thing what she's been doing and involved us in that. So I would love to share my story of transplant with you all. Doctors told me I was fighting pulmonary hypertension, an insidious condition that placed unbearable pressure on my lungs and heart. I was just 18 when I was diagnosed. It was a great blow, more devastating than anything I had ever experienced. A future of uncertainty, pain, and limitations hung around me. Yet I continued to fight and refused to let the curbs define me. But the universe had more challenges in store. In 2011, I was diagnosed with autoimmune peripheral neuropathy, a condition that would send my body into further chaos, leading to heart failure. And then came the crushing news: a heart and double lung transplant was my only hope for survival. My life had become a painful, suffocating battle. A transplant? I asked myself. The answer was a resounding yes. I knew it could be the beginning of something new, something better. On 2nd February 2021, at the age of 46, the transplant became a reality due to the benevolence of a donor. 8 months after the transplant, my life was almost unrecognizable. The energy I had lost over the years had returned, and with it, my sense of self. I felt strong and capable, and this new strength translated into my work. I re-entered the professional world as a senior consultant at Bombay Solutions, and the pride I felt was mightier than any achievement I had experienced before. Released from the crippling grip of my condition, I hugged life with both arms, taking on new adventures like parasailing and hot air balloon ride. Experiences I had once dreamt of but though thought impossible. I climbed steep temples in Darjeeling, reaching heights that I had once feared. The wisdom I gained from the Gita became my guiding light, guiding me through the hardest times. So this is a gist of my story, and you will find much more mysterious things in the book. Thank you so much.
Dear fellow recipients and the dignitaries on the dais, I am very honored to be here and present my story as written in the book. As the first rays of the sun dawned in 2020, I was woken up by my mother, who pointed to the Bharadwaj bird on the ledge. "It is auspicious," she whispered. As I lay with fatigue and with swollen legs, this filled me with hope. Within 2 days of that, I took the flight to Chennai for a heart transplant. On the flight to Chennai, my mind raced to the events on 17th July 2006. I was a fit, confident pediatrician running my own hospital. But I landed in the hospital myself with a massive infarct and was advised bypass surgery for the same. Post-bypass surgery, my ejection fraction was around 20%, but then life continued as before. But then I developed atrial fibrillation in 2019, and my ejection fraction went below 15%, and the transplant became a necessity. As I walked the sterile hallways of the MGM hospital, there was a Milrinol drip attached to my arm. Finally, the transplant call came. The verses from the Bhagavad Gita, "Na jayate mriyate va kadachit nayam bhutva na bhavita na bhayaha ajo nityam shashvato purano na hanyate hanyamane sharire." This sloka is about the impermanence of the body and the permanence of the soul, and this flowed through my mind as I was wheeled to the operation theatre. I did not fight or defy, but just surrendered to the unknown. The long surgery and the longer recovery made me wake up in the ICU, and it was like emerging from a deep fog. Dr. Bala's skilled team guided me through those difficult days. The stay at MGM, there are quite heroes of the MGM hospital, and they reassured me with small gestures. After returning home, my burden was gone. I felt light and I could walk with no breathlessness, and my ejection fraction was 70%. I now live a life full of gratitude, and I have returned to my clinical practice. I am deeply thankful to the donor and his parents, whose selflessness gave me a chance to live again. It's a very brief account of my story as written in the book. Thank you very much.
And I think that's something I really appreciate from the heart. They've come all over India, and so have our doctors.
Thanks a lot for this beautiful session and for coordinating everything. Real big thank you. It's a good book. It's a good book. I am a kidney patient, and I was a kidney patient rather, no longer a kidney patient. When I became a CKD, it's a story which you can read in my book. I never knew that I was a kidney patient. One day, somebody told me, you are a kidney patient and you need a transplant. That's how my story started. Anyway, the dialysis started, and from there, dialysis followed. For 3 years, that took 3 sessions a week. It was gruesome. I did not even expect that. The fistula was created. I never knew what was a fistula, by the way. Fistula was created in my forearm, and they said I need a kidney. My wife, I approached, and she is diabetic, so she could not. I have 2 sons, both of them are in the US, so they could not. I approached my family members. They all gave me sympathy, but not even at 1 kidney. But so I started my dialysis. I joined the cadaver list, but my number was 620 or so. And then they said, I don't stand a chance anyway. I started to enjoy my dialysis. I said, okay, this is my life, and I'm going to enjoy that. But it's got its own hardships, dialysis. The center did not have real proper facilities where I was going to. Some patients could not even afford the treatment of dialysis. I could see that from my own eyes. I just could not digest that. It was costly for them, and few people even died. And because they didn't have the insurance, medical insurance, I thought medical insurance should be given to these people. But anyway, what I did was, Meena is my wife, Meena and I, we tried to change that very look of that dialysis center. What we did was, she started to bring home cooked meals for the people, and not only for the patients but the staff also. We made friends, we made stories, we spread cheers, and I was invited on the World Kidney Day by 92.7 FM in Chennai, just to talk about kidney and to the fellow patients. I used that tagline. The tagline is Mati Yosi, life easy, which means if you think differently, life becomes easier. So that's what I was doing. But then at that time, the COVID lockdown also came in. Dialysis became very tough during COVID. There were no public transportation. We carpooled, helped patients and the staff. And when the center was closed, where I was going through dialysis, we had to adjust to the very odd hours, just to stay alive. So, just to stay alive, we used to go to a different place, get dialysis. At that time, 3 years passed by like this. At that time, one day, my elder brother, Dr. Prabhu, is a classmate of KRB. So they both studied together. He all of a sudden collapsed and died. And that should tell everybody, I always tell people, he never had any BP, no diabetes. He died. But now nobody gives me any insurance. So I apologize. So Dr. Andrew died in the middle of managing the funeral. What happened was, cousin stepped forward. She said, I will donate my kidney to you. I was really shocked. Really shocked. After the morning parade, I said, just take things easy, think about it, and then we will discuss. After the morning prayer, she came home. She said, I am ready to donate my kidney. Her husband was there. He said, we are there for you. Here, I wanted a kidney. There was somebody who was really ready to donate, and the hospital said, my doctor was CM Jagaraj, CMP. So he said, that's a perfect match. But then, she was not my close family. People said, authorization committee asked questions, so many things. It took 1 year for me. So the rest I have mentioned in my book. Thanks a lot. I thought I would just share.
Cadavered organ. There are two types of organs that we there. One are the living ones. Thank you so much. Like we saw those two ladies, they donated because they were relatives. Now if a relative cannot, then you have to wait for someone to pass on, and that person's kidney or whatever organ must match fully with the patient's. And therefore it's a moment of trial. That's what it is for.
I will now request Mr. Jayant Zambre to come and share his reflections with us.
I am deeply honored, and it is my pleasure today that I am attending this meeting with all of you, and I am thankful to Dr. Vinaya that she called me here. We are talking since last 2-3 months for this event. I am a liver transplant patient, liver given by my sister, younger sister. The operation was carried out on 14th of June 2011. Almost 14 years have been passed. I would like to read some passage from my article. Despite the uncertainty, I decided to face the challenge head on. I kept a positive outlook, believing that God only gives us battle which we are strong enough to overcome. I accepted that I needed the surgery and placed my trust in both my doctors and my family as well as God. As my health declined rapidly, the doctors gave me an ultimatum that I should go for a transplant within 2 months. That was the last admission where a doctor informed me that this is your last admission and you have to go directly to the hospital for transplant. I was shifted from the hospital directly to Delhi. I carried out my operation in Vedanta Hospital. Dr. Arvinder Singh Swain has carried out my operation. My family, fully aware of the risk but with no other option, rallied around me. My sister Tanuja selflessly stepped in as my liver donor, a decision supported by her family, her husband and her children, which is something which I will never forget. On the eve of the surgery, my family came together in a moment that brought tears to my eyes. My son, Parth Dhamre, though only in the 7th grade, showed a great maturity far beyond his years. I felt his quiet strength that night as he said goodbye. Knowing it could have been our last time together. I am very much thankful to my sister Tanuja for giving me the new life and opportunity. I am still working with great confidence. I am working for 14 to 15 hours daily. I am having a business of catering as well as business of return filing, GST return filing and everything. I am running my business of my father also, a fabrication business which we are in a joint family. We are staying in a joint family, and for carrying out a transplant operation, you need a family. You need a full backup from the family, which is almost, I am receiving it for last 15 years, 16 years. We are in a family, elder brother, sister, everyone. And I am working for my community. I am a secretary of my community mandal for last 29 years. And I think that I received a new life for the people. And I am trying to give some part of my life to the community. And thank you very much for allowing me to speak out here.
Actually, I'll take it. Gratitude towards the organ donor is something that you will find in every piece. You feel that they were the ones who gave you life. You don't know how to return that gift. That is it. All the time you are thinking of them, praying for them, and trying to nurture them. I want to say this, that donors should never feel a sense of regret when they donate. In fact, sometimes I wonder why people who are upper class or upper middle class don't donate their organs gently. Even our families don't step forward to do it. Very few will do it. As if it is something, some kind of snatching away from us. It is not. You have to be lucky to be in someone's body and live on and on. So, just an aside that the kind of gratitude we show to our donors, probably even donor families will forget to do after some time.
Thank you. So, the time has come. Later. Yeah. I invite Dr. Suresh Rao and Dr. Sundar Shankaran to please join Dr. Kirpal and officially unveil the book, New Life and New Beginnings.
This is more difficult than PPT. Because you want to be reused like transplant.
So you can proceed here.
Dr. Bala is center.
Unfortunately, there was another function in Delhi being organized by Motto, the Union Health Minister, the chief guest, and I could not put off that meeting. Nevertheless, my best wishes for a successful meeting. I had a chance to go through the book that you have compiled together. Very moving stories of how people have overcome adversity and come out successful. And I must admit that I was very moved by the stories in that book. And our sincere thanks to the donor families who have donated organs of their loved ones without any expectation in return. I think we owe it to the world to spread this message, and all of us actually pledge to be organ donors ourselves and to do everything in our way to help society. Once again, my congratulations and best wishes for your meeting.
Our message for all of you. Request Dr. Suresh Rao to come to the podium.
It is just typical of him. He has to think of others.
Good afternoon all. It's a dear Dr. Viney Kirpal, Dr. Sundar Santaram, and my beloved brave hearts and the recipients of other organs and respected family members of the donor, my friends and others. It's an honor and a pride moment for me. Honored to be with the recipients, brave hearts, who are keeping the donor's organ alive. They are dedicated to maintain that donor organ alive. And also being with the respected family members whose selfless act is making the other patients to live. I'm basically involved in heart and lung transplantation. And even though the first heart transplant was done in 1967, we did our first heart transplant in 1995. This was because there was no law governing the brain death and the organ donation in India. And our first patient did well. So we dedicated our team to continue with the heart and lung transplantation. However, we had one patient who waited for almost 6 months with heart failure. He didn't get an organ, so we lost her. That is because even though there was a law, there was no awareness about the organ donation. So in 2014, we created a green corridor and transported the heart and did the heart transplant. And Miss Hawaii is here. She is the one who got the heart transplant. And this created awareness among the public. That's why Tamil Nadu actually is the leading state. I mean, they started donating organs and became the leading state. And the second problem was, there was organ donation going on, but we didn't have recipients because people were not coming forward to undergo transplantation. And whenever they come at a very late stage. And while waiting for the heart transplant, we used to lose them. So then we had one heart failure patient who was waiting for a heart transplant in the hospital. She had cardiac arrest. So we massaged, heart did not recover as expected. So we did what is called eCPR. eCPR means ECMO assisted CPR, where the ECMO will take care of the heart and lung function. And then we did the transplant. She did well. So that's how we progressed in the heart and lung transplantation. Actually, recently we had a 8 months old baby from Bulgaria in severe heart failure. And while airlifting, child had a cardiac arrest while flying over Karachi actually. So they resuscitated and brought the child. Child was unconscious, no pulses, and BP was very low. So we put the child on ECMO because the mother wanted to do whatever is possible. And after 4 days, the child became conscious. And after a week's time, there was one 2-year-old brain dead child in Mumbai. And the parents came forward to donate the heart, did the transplant, and the child did well. So this was like pushing the boundaries. Small child who had cardiac arrest. We also didn't know that so many things can be done. And after that, one 78-year-old gentleman, he had severe ARDS, he was put on ECMO, in fact in Bangalore. He was on ECMO for 2 months. And finally the doctor said nothing more can be done. But the family wanted to do some things. They approached us, airlifted to our center. Then we did bilateral lung transplant. He went home and recently he celebrated his 80th birthday. So, this all actually inspires us. Now, have you arrived? Not yet. Because if you look at the US, they do 5,000 heart transplants each year. But if you look at the figures in India, it is hardly 150, of which 100 we are doing. So we need to create awareness about the organ donation. Death is not the end, it is beginning of something else. And to make the, enliven the others even after death is noblest act the act. And Viney is doing a great job by publishing this book. I'm sure this will create more awareness. And also, it helps the transplant patients to understand life after the transplant. So many of transplant recipients have written their experiences. This again helps the others, and also recipients can have a meaningful life. They can reach higher milestones. We should inspire them also. And also it should inspire all of us to pledge our organs and also motivate the family members to fulfill our wishes. And I again congratulate Dr. Viney for this wonderful work, and we shall continue to do this kind of work, and also all the recipients. And thanks for your watching.
Thank you very much, Dr. Suresh Rao, for all the incidences which have happened over the past and how we've evolved in the transplant and organ donation space. However, the story doesn't stop here. We still have to go ahead. We would now cordially invite Abhishek Dalvi and Sanjay K, if they are in the audience, to share their writing journey reflections with all of us, which will be followed by felicitation from Dr. Kirpal in gratitude for their great experience. Please.
I come from Mumbai, and this December I'll complete 10 years of my heart transplant. Yeah, and I want to thank you, ma'am, for giving me this opportunity to...
He is an entrepreneur, by the way. He is a website designer.
Yeah. So, and I want to thank you, doctors who are angels in our life. You know, I'm not getting words. You know, I had actually made this sheet that I will say this and that, and now I'm kind of forgetting everything. So.
Do you want the message?
No, I have some notes, but yeah. So, writing this story was not easy. You know, you have to go through again all the experiences, all the things that you want to forget, but then you have to remind it again and to write this story. So, and there was a lot of learning also while writing this story. One of it is like this is the new normal after heart transplant. I'm thinking this is the best phase of my health. You know, before the transplant, you know, I had this history of cancer and TB and appendicitis and all those surgeries. But then I've never imagined this life that I lead now. And thanks to the doctor that, you know, I'm living this wonderful life now. And you know, yesterday I saw the cover. I just wanted to share this. The cover which I saw in the book, I felt like it is a collection of heartbeats of all of us. Not just the recipients, but the caregivers, the doctors, and everyone who has contributed to our lives. And this new heart or this new life, while writing this book, I've realized that it has completely overshadowed the part which I wanted to forget. And this is the new life which I'm leading this. And there are a lot of miracles which I expect. Of course, I think everyone will have their own miracles. So I want to share a couple of which are very close to my heart. And one of it is, I think the heart issue, it was detected in 2009 for me. And the first thing the doctors say that, okay, you have to reduce your water intake. So in 2009 it was around 1.5 liters, and gradually it became to 1 liter. Then I think in around 24, it was around 800 ml. I think 2015 where then I got a transplant, it was around 500 to 600 ml. So it's like I have forgotten what is a glass of water. Like, the life was all about mls. My brother and my sister-in-law used to stay with me, and they would spoon feed me, water, because they were very strict about the restrictions of everyone. So they used to follow all the rules, and so the best part is, I think after my heart transplant, I think a day after when I woke up, and the next day, I kind of felt thirsty, I thought, then I asked him, I was like, okay, sister, can I get some water? Then she handed me a glass of water, I was like, shocked. Like I asked her, like how many ml should I drink? She drink whole glass. Like whole glass. So that was kind of very much unbelievable that time. Like, okay, I can have a glass of water, like a very small thing, but then it becomes so big. And the second was, so heart transplant is not financially easy, right? So you always have to think like how much the expense would be and how will it be contributed and all that. So even during my time, they were, how should we contribute so many lakhs of rupees? So a friend of my friend started crowdfunding, and to my surprise, I think around 35 lakhs were contributed in 15 days, which helped me for the heart transplant. And I think this, I will say something about this book. Like, this book is probably serve as a beacon for people who are on this journey. During my time or on 2014 or 15, we didn't have so many experiences of people who were sharing such stories. So now this will guide them, do's and don'ts. Yeah. So this is all I want to share about this. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Good evening, madam, my dear doctors, my dear co-fellow recipients, donors, family members of both of recipients and donors. I am Sanjay, kidney recipient. 8 years ago I received a kidney transplant. I am from Kerala, basically North Kerala, Felicitation. As Abhishek was telling, water intake, around us water, but no water to drink. Actually, for a renal patient, it rhymes very close. Because in Kerala, there is water everywhere. During dialysis, it is very difficult to live, and work is more difficult. I have prepared my text, so I will go with that. It is about my maiden writing journey. For years, I have harbored a longing to write, yet apart from a handful of pages, 2 or 3 articles in my organization's in-house magazine, I had no prior experience in this craft. So when I embarked on this maiden writing journey, I was a bundle of mixed emotion. The first feeling was pure joy, a dream finally coming true. But as I began to put pen to paper, another sensation emerged. As Abhishek was telling, the pain of revisiting my experiences surfaced, like scars reopening raw and vivid. It was challenging. Yet, as I pressed on, something remarkable happened. A sense of resilience took hold, and it overwhelmed me with its strength. That shift became the heartbeat of my journey, both my life journey and my writing journey. As a full-time employee and a first-time writer, time was a precious commodity, often feeling insufficient. Whenever inspiration struck, I jotted down lines on the spot. Sometimes I would develop those outlines into prose, writing by hand before typing them into my system. On other occasions, I went straight into the keyboard, letting the story flow directly onto the screen. Each page was read and reread. Upon completing the full story, I revisited it countless times, editing and refining it. The present form you see today owes much to the beautiful editing of our author, Viney Madam. Her touch shaped it without altering the core of the story. It retained the most part of the main issues and essence, but there was a small dropping of some part during the editing. I requested Madam to include it in full. It was the role music played in my healing, a vital thread in my narrative. She graciously agreed, weaving it into the final story with care. For me, writing felt like sharing my story with a close confidant, someone listening intently, bound to me by a deep connection. It was cathartic, almost like a conversation with a trusted soul. To those who have walked a similar path, whether as organ recipient or donor, I extend an invitation. Share your stories. Your experiences can inspire others to face their challenges with courage and hope. Let us weave a tapestry of resilience together, one story at a time. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We would now move ahead and invite Dr. Sundar to speak on transplant, a medical miracle.
You must see this interview, he's hilarious.
Which would be followed by distribution of copies of the book to the audience. If it's already done, then we can proceed.
And all the people here, Suresh on the dais, and all of you, transplant recipients, donors, stakeholders, and I would like to acknowledge my classmate and good friend, Dr. Pratap, who is there. I'm meeting him after 55 years. So, thank you for calling me here. And Vinayji told me that I should talk on the miracles of transplant. All of you are actually miraculous. Sitting here, Vinay talking is a miracle. Now, I am in the field of transplant for more than 40 years. So, in fact, I'm a dinosaur that way. And I was trained in a place called the Christian Medical College, Vellore, which did the first successful kidney transplant in the year 1971. The first dialysis in India was also done in Christian Medical College in 1962. The world's first kidney transplant was done in 1954 in Boston between twins. Now basically, God has given us two kidneys. 1 in 1,000 has got one kidney only, like Vajpayee. Many of you may not know that he had only one kidney. Now, the function of the kidney is to purify blood, but kidneys are amazing organs. Apart from purifying blood, they have many other functions, like keeping your blood going, bones, your calcium metabolism, water. Somebody was saying, water, if you don't, the kidneys don't work, water won't come out, salt, water. So, the kidneys are amazing organs. Now, once the kidney fails, there are many causes of kidney failure. when I started my dialysis transplant practice 40 years ago, the diabetes was not a common cause. Only less than 1% of my transplant patients were due to diabetes mellitus. Now, 50% of my dialysis and transplant are due to diabetes. So that is quite mind-boggling. There are many reasons, we'll go into that, I don't want to talk more. The other cause is high blood pressure, then we have got glomerular nephritis, congenital disease, all that. Once the kidney fails, there are two types of kidney failure. One is the acute kidney failure, which people get confused, which can occur due to infection, pregnancy, diarrhea, snake bite, whatever. Now, those are reversible. So some people go on dialysis for a few weeks and reverse. And these are the patients which recover acute kidney failure, where the quacks claim that they have cured kidney disease. These patients are on dialysis, they become all right. So they should not be confused with chronic kidney failure. And that chronic kidney failure, we have a condition when it reaches the end stage kidney disease or end stage renal disease. When somebody reaches that stage, life cannot go on without the kidney function being replaced either by dialysis or transplant. There's no way out. Now, a lot of people ask us, is dialysis better or transplant better? Dialysis can never be God's creation. When we do dialysis, and we do 3 times a week, and I have one good friend who's also a dialysis patient, a guy called Kamal Shah, who runs one of the largest dialysis centers himself. He's on dialysis the last 30 years. He had a transplant, mother gave the kidney, rejected within the first week, and then back on dialysis. Now, he tells me that even that 1 week, he had the life which can't match. But he can't go for a second transplant because it was a peculiar disease. He requires a drug which costs 2 crores called eculizumab every year. So that's still not available, so he can't have the transplant. Now, coming to dialysis transplant, with the transplant kidney, you can do whatever you want, because the transplant kidney, if you are on dialysis, the kidney function, the creatinine will never be normal. With the transplant, it will be normal. Now, when you talk of other things, like if you take 100 patients on dialysis today, at the end of 10 years, 90 are dead, even in the best centers. With the transplant, 90 are doing well. That is a miracle. Now, with the transplant, you can lead a normal life. Your patients, my patients, in the last 40 years, they have become grandparents. Many of them are grandparents, which is a joy to see. So, with the transplant, you can have a normal married life, especially women. On dialysis, it's very difficult to become a mother. With the transplant, you can. In fact, I have quite a few ladies who have had twin pregnancies, and so their children even consider me as their grandfather. They come and meet them. So, with the transplant, this is possible. So, you got transplants who are patients, who are ministers, who are underworld dons, they are politicians, they are movie actors, name it. They can do whatever you want. You got chief ministers. Now, being in Maharashtra, I must tell you a story of a Marathi guy. His name is Shivaji Rao Gaikwad. He was the bus conductor in my city. Then he became famous in Tamil Nadu, Rajinikanth. Rajinikanth is 75 years old. He had his kidney transplant 5 years ago. He had a stroke, he's got a stent in his carotid arteries. Despite that, he is the most popular actor. A hero for me. You can do whatever you want.
Secret of success is transplant. The secret of success is transplant.
Now, coming back to pregnancy, and becoming a father or mother, with a transplant, you can need, I have an Islamic scholar from Nigeria. He had transplant, then after he married 4 wives and produced 16 children. So in fact, my colleagues, my non-medical friends tell me, Dr. Sundar, what did you transplant? So that is good. Now, coming back to transplant, I was talking to Hemlata, a lot of patients have this feeling, my transplant will work only 5 years, because we doctors talk of 5 years, 10 years. It doesn't mean the kidney is lasting 5 years. Kidney can last 1 minute, because sometimes we have something called hyperacute rejection. In the last 3,000 transplants, I've lost 3 kidneys where I have to take it on the table and put it into the dustbin. The kidney rejects on the table. This is very rare, but it can happen. So it can last 1 minute. It can last 40 years. So we can't say this time frame like that. As somebody said, nobody can say how long we are going to live. You saw somebody getting a last on the flight, and I think Murali or somebody said, well, he had kidney problem, nothing happened. His brother had nothing. So we can't predict what's going to happen. That is life. But you have to live in a positive way, hope, that's important. But most important thing is, for a transplant patient, they are married to the transplant team for life. They have to be on follow take medication correctly. If you don't take medication correctly, the transplant organ will fail. I'm going to give you a story. This young boy from Nigeria, he had transplant with me. 2-3 years down the line, he came back with rejection. So then I normally asked him, did you stop your medicines, transplant medicine? He said, I stopped. I said, why did you stop? He said, Jesus told me to stop. I did another transplant, worked for a few years, again he came back with rejection. This time again I asked, did you stop medicine? I said, why did you stop? Jesus told me to stop. I was furious. I wanted to kill him. But then I said, I'm a doctor, so I managed to get the third transplant done. Fortunately for him, he comes with a family from Nigeria with a lot of siblings, cousins, so donor was not a problem. He's lucky that way. I did the third transplant, and this time I told him, even if Jesus tells you to stop medicine, you can't stop. Jesus has to tell me, the nephrologist, exactly when you can stop. So that is the thing. As a transplant, you are married to us, follow is important. Now, one of the things which I keep telling is, transplant is like marriage. There's a Scottish saying by Sir Douglas Black. My son is a radiologist in Scotland. My daughter is a forensic psychiatrist in Scotland. My grandson is a Scottish guy. So I must quote this Scottish saying, marriage and transplant are similar. Marriage and transplant is a boon for many. If it works well, greatly. It's a curse for some. Husband, wife fighting, nagging, all that. Same way we have transplant rejection, in fact, it's a curse. But it's a risk for all. Most of us have taken the risk of marriage. I am married for 40 years with 4 grandchildren. So that's the way it is. Now, I would like to end with a positive saying that God has given us 2 kidneys. Why are they? In fact, some of them ask, why has God given 2 kidneys? One is for you, one is for your loved one. That's why God has given us faith. Understand? Suresh Mahat, like being a cardiac transplant guy, never say I love you with my heart, because you can't do it. You can never only donate when you're dead. Say I love you with all my kidneys, because you can give 1 kidney, save a kidney. So be an organ donor, you are a hero, save lives. That's why I would like to commend Tanuja and Samira for being there. I think you are our hero. As a transplant physician, he's the cardiac transplant, we are nothing without donors, whether live donor or whatever. And what Murli said about this unrelated transplant, Dr. Tyagarajan, he's my guru. In fact, I have learned transplant. I'm calling him on Sunday to Bangalore for a special meeting because he is one of the few people who pioneered the concept of unrelated transplant. A lot of people don't know the drug called cyclosporin. Now you're using tacrolimus. This made a difference. In fact, in transplant era, there are 2 eras. Before cyclosporin, BC era, after cyclosporin era. And Tyagarajan was the one who went to MGR, the former chief minister, who was at transplant, and learned how to use cyclosporin, came back to India, and he taught us how to use. That's how the unconsummate transplant came in. So this donor problem is there everywhere. We have a lot of donors who want to donate. You have to make it easy. In fact, if you read my article, I think Kirpal has done a great job, but I am not a good writer. She has done a great interview. So the article is good. Credit goes to her, not to me. We have discussed on this, how we should compensate the donor. I'm not saying selling kidney. You have to treat the donor as a hero. The donor should get compensation in some form. Like if you get Padma Shri, what do you get? You get free lounge, you go to free train. They should get special. But they're not even giving insurance. I think this is something we should take forward. And now we are actually using the law. Patients who don't get permission, the authorization committee, we have a new law which is going to come in. We are going to file a writ petition that this authorization committee should give the permission within a time frame. We have a transplant recipient called Himali Ajmera. She is a lawyer and her husband is a lawyer. They have formed a new thing called One Organ, One Nation, One Law. So throughout India, it is the same law. She is in Ahmedabad, they have a law firm. Any of you want any legal help, they will do it pro bono, free. And we have formed a club, I'm part of a Rotary Club, somebody met, called Rotary Club of Organ Donation. All of you should become member of that. It's a cost-based club, it's not area. Anybody can become member. And 2 of the members from the Rotary Club, one is in this book, Anil Srivatsav. He is the one who founded this club. And Arjun Srivatsav, the neurosurgeon. They both had transplant. Anil donated to Arjun. Arjun is my colleague, he works with me as a neurosurgeon. Operates 15 hours a day as a neurosurgeon. There is a famous kidney transplant surgeon, Robert Montgomery. He did the world's first successful pig transplant. He has had a heart transplant. He had a cardiomyopathy. He has had a heart. You will read his life story. You will, I think Vinesh probably should write a separate story on Robert Fonda. Okay, again I'm telling you that anything is possible if you have the mind. Don't look at negative people. Don't be negative. The best, and anything can occur to anybody. So being positive is most important. I would like to salute all of you. I am honored to be here. A lot of patients come, a lot of people come and tell me that they are grateful to me as a doctor. No, I keep telling Suresh also told me, we are grateful to you because you have given us the feeling to trusting us. See, now trust is gone. Every other day you see in the media, kidney stolen, doctor did this. No, doctor, as doctor, we want all of you to do well. We want patients to do well. Even if I am a mercenary, I have to do well. Then only I get more patients, isn't it? So no doctor actually wants to harm anybody. We have to get the trust back. As an old man, 70 years, I keep talking to youngsters only on this. We have to work together. We are not enemies. We have to fight the disease which is the enemy. We doctor and patients get fight the disease. Thank you. God bless.
Jokes in between, and it's reminding us that medicine, when coupled with human will, can move mountains.
I just want to tell you a little aside about Dr. Sundar. When I recorded his interview, there was an intervening call in between, so I thought after we resumed to switch on the recorder. And at the end of it, I was horrified. No recording was done. Now I said, here's a gift shot. How do I approach him all over again for the interview? I called him up. I said, I'm so sorry, but I missed recording you. Now what time is convenient? We can record us now, he said.
Yeah.
I really was amazed. I said, this busy doctor is so humble. And this humility is something that I found in all these people. It's in their blood. So I salute.
Dr. Viney, we should have called insurance guys also here.
I did send it to them, they dare not come.
Yes, wow.
So I have now filed a case with the ombudsman.
I think we should file a PIL. We can ask Himalayan Vera to do it, because they're ready to do it. Because what the problem with insurance, they will not say no.
Yeah.
See, even if we want to go to court, they must give in writing that I will not, so they will never do that. Even authorizing committee does the same thing. The authorizing committee, when they refuse, they have given it in writing why I have refused the donor. Because the committee's role is to find out whether there is commercial transaction or not. But they have to give it, they will never, if they give it in writing, we can go to court. But they will never do that.
They gave it to me. They
If
said,
you have got that, you can go to court.
they said you have been heart transplanted, so we are not giving you an insurance. Now I've gone to the ombudsman. Now let's charge.
Which will be moderated by our co-host Utpala. She's a posh advocate and consultant, volunteer teacher, global delivery expert, and she'll take it forward with the transplant medicine experts and the author. Thank you.
Thank you, Dasvi. We have the eminent doctors here. So, any of you, any question you have for them, please feel free. I know they are busy people, very difficult to get time with them. So, this is your opportunity. Does anybody have any questions for the doctors?
When do you sleep?
That's a good question.
He slept after coming. Your heart is always in the night.
Always in the night. And
I think delivery and this.
and again, transplant may be only 1 hour or 2 hours, but we have to wait in the operating room till the patient is settled, and job is not over. Once you shifted again, first 24 hours. So we always work in a team, and even though team is there, it's always we get calls, all those things. Yeah, few days I'll be too busy. Sometimes we get so that way Dr. Bala, he 1 o'clock comes, he will pick up, and afternoon he gets half an hour he sleep. So so that way is best. Sometimes otherwise once you get a call at 1 o'clock, you can't sleep for another 2 hours.
Great question and great answer. Thank you. Anybody else? Yes, please.
I have a very basic question, possibly it's a little naive, but isn't it illegal to just refuse insurance for people? People are not meant for the business of insurance.
Yes.
I mean, shouldn't that be a kind of premise? And would you like to share any of your battles that you fought with?
See, I don't know, actually I have not gone to court, but a lot of, see, personally, on a even personal level, my own, see, like, I have an insurance and I work in a hospital. Other day, my wife had a small finger fracture and something this orthopedic surgeon did. One day admission, the bill was of 1.5 lakhs. The insurance gave me 60,000. Hospital gave me some 20,000. I paid 70,000 from my pocket. But all over the world, insurance is there to make money only. They are not there to serve you. In the West is worse. If you go to America, the so-called co-pay will be 5 times the actual cost of what we are spending in India. Co-pay will be more than that. The whole insurance is for making money only. That is the reality. So the only way I think I foresee is some sort of socialistic medicine. We discussed with Kirpalji also. How do we do that? Like National Health Service in UK, my son works there. It's one of the best systems in the world, but it is crumbling. The waiting list is enormous. Even for an ordinary scan, my grandson is 4 years old. He has a urine infection. My son is a radiologist. He does ultrasound every day. My daughter is a psychiatrist working in the same hospital. They are not able to get an ultrasound because they have to go to the GP, it takes 6 months. The GP will say ultrasound 1 year. So I flew him down to Bangalore, got it done within 1 day. So in India we have the advantage that way. But the socialistic medicine, how it will work, I don't know. Singapore has done a unique thing. They have combined this in a unique way where people who are, even the citizens, rich, they have to pay, the poor will get free. They have combined it and done it beautifully. I don't think any other country has managed in the socialist medicine. How, even the Ayushman Bharat, I'm just reading in Twitter, the government has not paid. Thousands of crores they have to pay the hospital. So hospitals are not accepting. So when in my own hospital, we have got CHHS government reimbursement. What we do is when the patient comes, we say there's no bed. We are told by our administration, don't quote me. No, I may lose my job, it's okay. But they say, please tell them there's no bed available. If it is insurance, ECHS, or government place. Because they're not getting the money back. They said crores of rupees has to come from the government. So I don't know what is the solution, I don't know. I feel sad. In my opinion, healthcare, education is free. Nobody should be denied. I mean, these are basic. But what is going to happen, I don't know. I'm sorry. I have no answer.
The government has very, would you like a mic?
I think so. Please give her a mic so we can also.
Absolutely offloaded its responsibility, its duty onto private shoulders entirely. How have you attempted to address this lacunae so far? I mean, I'm sure all of you have done your bit, but how have they been successfully able to just download and shirk this duty?
Yeah, I think Vinay, you have approached.
Yeah, we did a petition, and that petition is on change.org. It has over 7,300 signatures, and the matter has gone to the Ministry of Health. NOTO, which is the national body of organ transplant, tissues, etc., etc. The head there, Dr. Anil Kumar, was in continuous conversation with me. And through a suggestion, I even talked to the first secretary of the Ministry of Health. She was kind enough to write to NOTO that give her whatever is feasible. Her meaning because I was the main petitioner. And then then he has recommended everything. But now it's for the government to say yes and give the money. In principle, it seems they are ready. But what they will give, how they will give is a big question mark. Ayushman Bharat, which is supposed to be the largest insurance in the world, I don't know if anyone has benefited from it. I am over 70 and I tried to find out which are the hospitals. Your hospital was listed, so was Fortis, which has been taken over by MGM. I talked to the CEO there. He said we don't have a license. I talked to Jahangir here. I was told that they have applied for an insurance, for a license, but they have yet to get So I don't know whether the hospitals are saying no or it's the government which is not reaching out. But one of the ways, that I have been talking about this to insurance also, they say we are okay with PPP money. So here the pay, I think what the insurance wants to give will be clubbed with CSR from companies. Instead of just spending it on any and everything, if healthcare and education can be taken care of by corporate organizations, it will.
But then why are we paying taxes? We can pay taxes, right? So
just yesterday.
The moment you stop money, we don't.
Yeah, then road also you maintain, electricity you maintain, health you maintain.
The person like me, I'm in private practice for what I've been paying tax. The moment I fall, only from my savings it has come. Government is not doing anything.
Exactly.
I understand.
I want to tell you, this year my pension went up by 10,000 and I had to pay 1,50,000 as tax. So I told the CA, I said, what am I getting? What is this increase in pension? There's no increase. In fact, there's depletion.
Yeah, that's true. Coming back to the yes, you have a question.
If you are doing something, as a communication support foundation, I make films. Now I got to make 2 films. My 3rd film, they said we cannot donate because we don't get it. It is something which needs to be fought for this, especially for this. I think the wonderful work which you are doing, I can just summarize, is an individual social responsibility. This is something which needs to be catched on those people who have hearts.
And we do something even from the transplant license. Recently in my state, they don't give license to the corporate hospital unless you give in writing saying that I will accept Ayushman Bharat. So hospitals give that writing, but in private they tell us. So they will not say no. That's what in private, if it is Ayushman Bharat, they'll say beds are not available, full like that you have to. That's what is being done.
Because they say government doesn't pay them.
They are not paying. You see the Twitter, just doing training. 1,000, some 100,000 crores they have to pay corporate hospitals.
Okay, Girinder has a question. Yes. There's a mic.
Yes, sir.
Otherwise, I can speak loudly.
Yes.
So, first of all, thank you, Dr. Kirpal. Otherwise, there's no connection for me. In fact, I had no background on this topic at all. So, exactly. So, this is wonderful being here and listening to all these very inspiring stories. So, my question is about technology. Technology is changing all aspects of our lives. How is it changing the transplant procedures, and what can we expect in the next 5 to 10 years in terms of transplants?
We will ask Suresh to answer, then I'll tell my thoughts.
The transplant has to be done within 4 hours. We don't have much time. So we call it cold ischemic time. And so many times you have to get the organs from distant places. You don't have logistics. Even if you bring it by air ambulance, it will take time. So organs will be wasted. So now the new technology is you can have a continuous perfusion of the heart. So you can prolong the preservation time. And in future you will have a better technology where you can just keep the heart, you can keep the heart alive. And also, sometimes what happens is, for example, lung. We go and assess the lung function is not good. So we can't do the transplant. But it is a reversible condition. But we don't know. We don't see if you do it, if the lung condition doesn't improve, then we will lose the patient. But future, you'll have a technology, you take out the lung, perfuse it, and test the function. If it improves, you can do the transplant. If you don't improve, if it doesn't improve, you have to discard this one. Then coming to you may not get the organs. There is always imbalance between the organ availability and the demand. So when you don't have artificially, you need to have artificial hearts. So we have now LVADs where small pump you can put into the heart. It will run on battery, but of course, just like charging your mobile, you have to charge it. I think we have who had LVAD with us. So if you don't have good right ventricular function, then you can have total artificial heart. So recently it was done in Australia, and of course it takes time for the technology to develop. And also what they are doing is that they are transplanting the pig's heart. So you have to use a special immunology, you have to modify the immunology, otherwise it will be rejected. In fact, in India, first pig heart transplantation was done at Barua, and he was sent to the jail. He was arrested, he was sent to the jail. Today, the US is coming out of pig transplant. So, I mean, you can't predict what will happen 10 years from now. That's why sometimes they ask us after the lung transplants how many years, 10 years, 15 years, something. Especially when you do a small child, their parents will think, oh, what will happen after 15 years or something. I said, after 15 years, the technology will change. So many things can happen. So.
AI-matched organs, AI-matched organs. Yeah, and to add on to it, we just got a message on the transplant support group that in Abu Dhabi, 2 men were done lung transplant by robotic surgery. So they started transplantation through robot.
I think that's going to come back.
Yeah, so already 2 men have been transplanted using a robot.
So doctor can sleep a little bit better.
Yeah.
No, it's not exactly. You call it robotic, but it is, there are a lot of things.
Surgeon is operating.
Surgeon is operating.
Dr. Yanga is already doing robotic surgery.
A lot of people are doing robotic kidney has become common.
In India, actually in India, doctors don't talk about their work, but a lot more gets done. I wish you people would popularize it.
What Suresh was saying, that I think I'm very gung-ho about transgenic pigs. I was talking to Dr. Robert Montgomery, the heart transplant recipient. He has done the pig transplant, pig hearts have been done. There's a lot to go because these pigs also carry some virus. That is the thing we still don't know. And the lifespan of pig is short, 5-10 years. So we don't know how long it will last. But sure, things are changing. Other thing is about the use of AI, artificial intelligence, which is coming in. So from matching the organs to so many things, those could be done. And a lot of people keep asking whether AI will replace doctors. AI will not replace doctors, but AI will replace doctors who don't use AI. That's going to be the reality. That is the reality. But as Suresh was saying, 40 years, 50 years ago, there was no transplant. Even kidney was not there. Patients were dying. Then kidney transplant came in. Actual kidney transplant is only 70 years old. Heart is about 60 years old in the whole world. So technology is changing. We should live in hope, faith. I'm sure things will change.
Great question. Two prime things you would suggest for a good kidney and good heart for all of us here.
Heart is always the matinee idol, so first, love the kidney.
One is, as Dr. Sundar said, it's like a marriage. So you have to maintain continue with the immunosuppression. Because we had one young boy who was doing extremely well. After 8 years, suddenly he had breathlessness. So I asked him to come. He was not checking the levels of tacrolimus. It was very low. So he had a rejection. So if he had continued with the immunosuppressants properly, and nothing would have happened. So you'll have to take care of this. Because after 5 years, they think, my heart is normal. Just like Jesus said, don't think. So that is, you'll have to.
Okay.
To have a good heart, you should have a good heart.
Yes.
I think, as somebody said, the family support, I think it makes a lot of difference. And transplant requires, I always say, for transplant, 2 things definitely needed. One is money. But money can't buy everything. But money can solve a lot of things. Other is, the donor. You can, especially for kidney, if they have a family donor, more family will come forward. But success of transplant, as Suresh, again we keep saying, is meticulous follow. In fact, my patients don't even change their toothpaste brand without consulting. They don't change toothpaste. And sometimes even to that, it may look a little vulgar, they won't want to even lie down with the wife or husband on the other side without talking to me. They feel so scared. See that, but that, I'm not saying don't be scared, but makes it. See, that is one of the reasons I think having this WhatsApp and group like this makes it. See, we doctors are busy, we can't answer all the time. But amongst you discuss, but with the support of the doctors, I think that's very important. I think this group like this is the positive thing, I would say. We have now like thing called Kidney Warrior Foundation. There are 7,000 people in that group. I am the founder of that. We are together doing a lot of work on that. I'm sure the brave hearts what Kirpal is doing is great, and Hema Singh in Bangalore, so there are a couple of them together doing. I think that is the key for the success. But again, I come back, being positive. Don't talk to people who are negative. Life is positive. That's the only way I would say as a doctor.
Also, not to compare our life with another transplant because each body is different.
Yes.
And each patient behaves differently.
Yeah.
Same patient today will be different tomorrow. So I can't use this drug today.
Correct.
So it changes.
To come towards the insights. And I would now like to invite Utpala to deliver the vote of thanks. Post this, we will be taking a group photograph, so I would request everyone to come towards the dais so that we can take a group
activity proposing the vote of thanks. Thank you both the doctors, all the three doctors. Thank you very much. You are cheerleaders of hope for all of us. In front of me, the donors, the receivers, the caregivers, the other doctors and medical fraternity present here supporting family and friends. Your indomitable spirit really inspires all of us. Thank you very much. Heartfelt gratitude to medical science advances, what we were talking of, and those who are making it happen. Thank you everyone who brought a book to life, starting with stating your story, your thoughts, sharing them with everybody. So thank you to all the writers, the editor, the publisher, the one who brought it all together, Dr. Viney Kirpal. A huge thank you. Thanks are also due to all for making this event successful. Pune Club for the spacious venue, the arrangements, the helpful Pune Club staff, the videographer, the book counter management. Thank you everybody. Let me end with words to remember. Live life, love life. Shine bright, give a fight. Don't just go, rise above, spreading hope. Thank you everyone.